Hi everyone! Today I'm going to talk about a novel tool that encourages readers to comment in a more civil way on online news websites. This means that we move away from traditional news or comment sections. I would like to start off my presentation by asking you a question. Do you sometimes read online comments? You can just raise your hand behind your home desk. Okay, so I guess many of you can relate to this meme then. I assume you sometimes encounter hateful comments, participants attacking each other, irrelevant remarks, or even racist statements. And perhaps you find these uncivil and irrelevant comments funny. Or maybe they make you feel reluctant to leave a comment yourself because you fear to become the victim of a troll. And these uncivil comments do not only affect you, they also influence the credibility of the media publisher. And it forces them to close down their comment section because the effort to manage all those uncivil comments is too high. To tackle this problem, we gathered with multiple stakeholders and we set up the RHETOriC project. What I would like to do today is report on the results of this project. In this project, we followed a human-centered design process. I will start by briefly describing how we analyze the user needs. Then I will go on to the design and testing phase and take you through the different steps of our tool. And finally, I will discuss the results of our large-scale evaluation on the website of a national publisher in Belgium. So, in our project, we started off by analyzing the user needs of our target group. We organized a workshop, we did diary studies, and we conducted interviews with newsreaders, journalists, media professionals, and moderators. Moving on to the design and testing phase, we conducted several controlled experiments. We also organized a use case workshop with media professionals and journalists and researchers to define the different steps of our tool. So now I will introduce you to the new tool we developed within this project. The tool can be included in an online news article. So, as a first step, users see a conversational prompt in the form of a statement or a question. In this case, the question is, which Sky format do you prefer? Via the buttons below, users can indicate their opinion and thus take a stance. Our goal was to make this first step very accessible, and we also try to avoid the word comments, since this has a negative connotation. Moving on to the second step. Users are requested to substantiate their opinion by writing one argument. During writing, users receive real-time feedback about the quality and the language of their contribution. On the screenshot we are looking at, you can see that the commenter writes "shitty people," and therefore the notification "do not use offensive language" appears. After submitting an argument, we present, based on an algorithm, similar comments to the user. We ask them to indicate whether the presented argument is similar to one's own argument or not. And this step supports the algorithm in clustering arguments later on. On the next screen, the user can read several other arguments on the topic, and participants can like other contributions. This way we focus on positive interactions. The arguments appear clustered by content similarity. After filling in their name, which I skipped here, users get the final screen, a structured overview of the debate. The arguments are grouped by the opinion buttons. Here it is online, in-person, hybrid, but it could also be agree, disagree, neutral, or any other options. Important to note, but out of scope of my presentation today, is that we also developed a back-end moderation dashboard. Using an algorithm, uncivil contributions automatically go into pre-moderation. So let's now turn to the third and last phase, the evaluation. How did the participants perceive and experience the tool? Last summer, we tested the RHETOriC tool on the website of the national publisher Het Nieuwsblad during 6 weeks. We included this RHETOriC tool in several online news articles. And these news articles were also shared on the Facebook page of the news publisher. We analyzed all comments submitted via the RHETOriC tool and submitted via Facebook using automatic text analysis, and we rated all comments in terms of argumentation, toxicity, proficiency, and sentiment. Then we compared the quality of the comments across all topics, and we found that the rhetoric comments were less toxic, better argued, more skillfully written, and more positively formulated compared to Facebook comments. On the graph that I'm showing you, you can find the scores for toxicity for rhetoric versus Facebook comments. And the darker the color on the graph, the more toxic the comments. So you notice there that the most toxic comments, represented by the dark red, can only be found on Facebook. On top of that, we sent an online survey to participants of our tool to get more insight into how they experienced it. About 255 participants filled in the questionnaire. Good to know is that these results reflect only the opinion of the participants that filled in the survey, and not the opinion of all participants that submitted a comment via the RHETORiC tool. Okay, let me highlight some main findings now. So, 83% had a positive or very positive feeling about the rhetoric environment. 93% said it was an added value to participate in the debate. And 90% would like to participate in the future. So, to give you an example of the experience of our participants, I would like to draw your attention to this quote. This person found that the rhetoric environment was innovative and well organized, and it made him think and look at things from a different perspective. He even called this tool mind-blowing. We also included some questions in which we asked participants to compare the tool to other ways of commenting, such as social media. And more than 90% of respondents indicated that they found the new environment better or much better compared to Facebook or other social media for commenting on news. On our question to rank 3 ways of commenting on online news according to their preference, so the RHETORiC tool comments on social media and traditional comments, nearly 3 out of 4 participants put the RHETORiC tool first. That brings us to the last point. Reader engagement. Our results indicate that the RHETORiC tool can motivate the silent majority to participate in an online debate. To put in other words, 45% of our respondents never comment on online platforms, but they did via the RHETORiC tool. To give you an example, one participant wrote, "This way of commenting really struck me. It was the first time I commented on an article, and I think this is the best way." To recap on the main points, we can say that the RHETORiC tool succeeds in doing what seemed impossible on social media, exchanging qualitative arguments and increasing newsreader engagement. Thank you for watching my presentation. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or feedback. Thank you.